Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 149, Lamar, Babezilla versus the zombie horde. Horde.
We're not YouTube. You'll see the spelling of it later. It's a play on words. But Joe, we actually got this one. This production company, Hoj Bob, is available on Hoj Bob, HOJBOB.com, and it will be available on Troma now. So
They say the zombie genre has died, Lamar, but I don't know. As long as there's a zombie horde out there, I don't know.
you just got to reinvent things, Joe. There's nothing new under the sun, someone once said. So, yeah.
Well, let's break it down, sir. We'll start with our first category, of course, the story.
Number one, these guys, are they friends? They're just evil friends.
Yeah, evildoers.
Evildoers have a plot to turn women into zombies.
Well, wait a minute.
What?
Was their plot to turn them into zombies, or was their plot to turn them into whores?
That's a good question.
I thought it was to turn them into whores, and the unintentional result was that they turned into zombies.
I think you got me there, Joe. Yes. So, Joe, this is actually a movie about the downfalls of trying to manipulate women.
Yes.
And the result was they became zombies. Now, thank God that we have a hero of Babezilla. Joe, who is Babezilla?
Well, apparently her mother was from another planet of some kind that was a savior of our planet at some point, and can always count on her to help us. But
yes,
when she's not saving the world, Lamar, she has a different profession.
She is a stripper, you know, which is fine. No judgment. You know, get your money.
Well, also her human face is just a mask, because she pulls her human face off and reveals that she actually is some kind of lizardoid or whatever.
It matters what's inside, though. That's what it matters. But the story is broken down into they do the evil plot. She's doing something naughty with something phallic.
Yes.
Then it goes back to them, back to her, until she's called into action by who, Joe?
The president.
Well, what's the president doing, Joe? This is important.
He's in India.
Disguised.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, he needs a break. So that's the story. Boy, oh boy.
Well, I mean, there is a story, honestly. I mean, I'll say this. The movie's only an hour long.
Yeah.
And so it does kind of move along, and it is silly and goofy, and they finished. So I'm going to have to give it 1 point. I'm going to give it 1 point.
Really?
Yeah.
I will say this. I'll give it a half a point because the going back and forth, get a little streamlined, you know.
Okay.
Let's give Babezilla some more around the town things to do. So half a point, but like you said, it's something. It is something. Yes.
All right. Well, next category is what do we think of the zombies?
Well, the zombies are just all women who are probably either naked or half naked, and then they just eat men.
Well, that's the funny part, is that they're normal women.
Yeah.
And what happened was they get this subliminal message.
Of course. Yeah.
And as soon as they hear the message, they just turn into zombie and start eating the men that think that they're, loose women that they can mess with. So that, I mean, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, none of it looks good. So I'll give them a half point.
I'll give them a point.
Okay.
Just because the freaking weird aspect of them becoming zombies, like you said, they don't look good, but boy, I tell you, it's the how they become zombies off of cat videos.
It's not the greatest makeup I've seen in a zombie movie, Lamar.
Still, I'm giving it a 1.
Okay.
I'm giving it a 1.
Well, to go off of that, there were special effects.
Okay. Going into our next category, there are some effects for guns and
Explosions.
explosions and other weapons that are used, Joe.
Yeah, there's some prosthetics. There's a particular prosthetic that we had to watch a couple times to figure out what that was. There was another male prosthetic that gotten eaten by a zombie after he waved it around for a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say it's not the greatest, the special effects.
Yeah, I agree. Well, what do you give it? What do you give it?
I'll have to give it a 0 points, Lamar.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm being nice today. I'm giving it a half a point because I
Okay.
thought some of it was funny. Like if the
Yeah, it was
special
funny.
effects are at least funny, but they weren't funny enough, like in
Yeah,
some
that's
other
my
movies.
problem.
Yeah, I'll give it a half a point because
Okay.
it wasn't as funny. But I can understand why you have a 0. Joe.
Yeah. The next category has the highest of all the standards because we're talking about the weaponry. Babezilla, you know, she has to save the world and fight the zombies, and she has to use weapons, Lamar. What'd you think of the weapons?
Okay, first of all, she starts off with a gun, big gun. Sometimes you don't have all the ammo in the world, you know. She uses her bosoms
Yeah.
to fire lasers. Did she have a name for them?
I don't know if she had a name for that.
Oh,
From
what
all
did
I
she have a name
noticed
for?
that her bosoms just were capable of firing lasers, but you know, Lamar, that just wasn't powerful enough that to stop the zombies. She had to rely on something else. The super queef cannon.
We don't need to explain it. It's just one of those things where you're like, let your imagination go until you see the movie.
Well, what do you give it?
You know what? This went above and beyond. I will give them a 1.
I agree. I mean, if you got laser bosoms and the super queef cannon, I can't argue with that, Lamar. And the final category, TNA.
1.
Agreed.
You know, that's something that, you know, we appreciate in the film. So we give you a 1 basically if there's a nothing.
Well, it came right out the gate, you know, the
Oh,
opening
God.
scene, and it just never really let up. Even when she was clothed, she was still up to something. Like they were just following her day-to-day life, which was eating popsicles and cleaning corn, just doing random things in a very sexual way. So we tallied the score, and it had a 3.75, which we are going to round up to a 4.
Yes.
Because go on out on a limb here and say that the super queef cannon might be one of the most powerful hero weapons that we've seen in a movie.
I can't think of anything else that's more powerful, Joe.
There you go. 4 out of 5. Babezilla versus a zombie horde. Does that wrap this up, Lamar?
Yeah, and Joe, it goes to show the positive representation of women. You know, they make do with anything. If there ever a zombie apocalypse, you call on Babezilla. Girls get it done.
Peace.
Deuces.